like to welcome you all to the Vanair booth at the 2023 ConExpo show here in Las Vegas. I am Dean Strothman, Vice President of Sales for Vanair Manufacturing. We got a lot to talk about. There's been a lot that has happened since the trade show here a few years ago. COVID whiplash as it would pertain to manufacturing and supply chain and pricing and capacity, people in the workplace and things like that. And with all those things going on in the marketplace, it gave Vanair the opportunity to get closer to our customers and be able to see some of the things that were going on in the market, specifically in regard to some of the things that I just mentioned. But there's other things and other influences going on in the market as well, such as more acceptance and adoption of EV vehicles in the market. Again, with those supply chain challenges and things like that, there's been people who have not been able to get the vehicle of choice that they maybe would have had for their fleet before and are looking for alternate vehicles and things of that nature. And then there's other influences and things that are going on where people are trying to make more moves, especially large fleets, toward environmental responsibilities and things of that nature, lots more regulation and things like that. So over the course of the last 3 years, we've made a lot of change, and we've kind of built our change on feedback that we've gotten from the customers, but as well as looking at all the different products that Vanair offers and taking all those 51 years, Vanair, 51 years this year, 51 years of technology, and how do we adapt it into something new and satisfy the needs of the market. So Vanair brought an entirely new product group to the market in the last 3 years. That product is electrified power equipment that we refer to as EPEQ, 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 truly an EPEQ product. And the development of that product really leaned on a lot of information that we've learned from a lot of our other product groups. I just, real quick, referencing who Vanair is for those that maybe aren't as familiar. Vanair in what we call mobile power market, okay? So any type of equipment that would go on any type of vocational vehicle or vocational platform, any non-passenger vehicle. We offer solutions from 5 CFM to 1500 CFM and up to 1500 PSI. We offer those in large drill module packages for rock drilling, geothermal drilling, water well drilling, etc. We offer solutions kind of where Vanair started under PTO shaft-driven compressors, all the way up to I think 400 CFM now underbody on a vehicle. Vanair continued to grow and evolve and developed engine drive products and has addressed the market with market needs, and there's new things there as well. Hydraulic drive compressors. If you look around the show, just across the booth, within an eye shot, I can see 6-7 different Vanair products in different booths. Our multifunction product line, that we really had to learn a lot of things with load management and load sharing and things like that. The acquisition of Goodall in our jump starting products, and really where that's led us, and then the adoption of lithium products in our jump starting there. And we've taken some of all of that, and that is what has brought us to kind of where we are today from an electrification standpoint. And pretty much anything that Vanair offers today in the 50 horsepower range or under, we are electrifying. So starting out there, like I said, we had our familiarity with lithium and with battery management systems and how to manage lithium and lithium safely through our Jump Start product, our Start All Jump Pack. And that led us into how do we take battery power technology and adapt that to more applications to serve the needs of our customers. And our tagline for EPEQ is clean, quiet power. And kind of the leading part of the impetus behind the EPEQ product group was not necessarily, as you might think, the full EV chassis. It actually was again, where we talked about the supply chain challenges and the capacity problems that people had, and where people were not able to find the vehicle of choice and had to move into some other work platforms. So they found themselves, moving into some light commercial vehicles or vans, or bodies with, or chassis with enclosed bodies and things like that. And what we recognized is that there was a real gap in the market in that kind of a work platform in order to be able to provide somebody clean, quiet power that provided all the different facets or all the different outputs and functions that Van Air can offer. There was really a gap in the van market or enclosed space market. So about 3 years ago, we developed our first systems and put them out for field trials, and things have continued to evolve from there. And I'm going to take some time now to kind of go through what is EPEQ and what do we all offer. So EPEQ starts with, this is our lithium ion battery. Our battery brand is Element. This is a lithium iron phosphate battery. This particular battery is 48 volt, 5 kilowatt, 100 amp hour battery. And for most of the products that I'm going to show you here today, again, this is kind of the power source. There are, of course, many people who are saying, with the adoption of EV and EV chassis, as things move forward, are you going to be able to tie into EV chassis in lieu of an auxiliary battery? And the answer is absolutely yes. We're moving to that. Okay. What we do hear right now, though, that there's a lot of people that still have that range anxiety, right? The early adopters of EVs are concerned about, am I going to be able to get home and back, or to get to the job site and home, right? Let alone power any equipment while I'm out there, right? So that's part of the impetus behind the auxiliary battery. So again, we have our own battery management system inside of this battery. This particular battery is designed to address the needs in the market. Some of the things that you hear about lithium is temperature concerns. When it gets cold, say 40 degrees, even and colder, that it does not like to recharge or discharge as well as it would in a more normal climate. But our system actually has heater blankets woven in through the cells. Some of the other things that we're doing with inside of this battery is we're communicating through CAN messaging and through a specialty controller. We have a smart controller right here on the side. All of the things that we've learned over the years with our multi-function product and load management, where you have an engine-driven piece of equipment that maybe has a 25 horsepower engine in it, but it has, if you turned on every single function that was in there, there'd be 50 horsepower worth of draw, and you have to learn how to manage that effectively, becomes vitally important when you start talking about electrification and you start talking about batteries, and you start talking about how am I going to make it through my entire day, right? It becomes vitally important. So a lot of the technologies that we learned from multi-function product and others were coupled with some of the things that we learned from our jump starting and Goodall products from a battery management system and a technology standpoint, and we've integrated all of that into this smart controller, which really is what runs the system. So this particular battery, I kind of refer to it as the Cube design. This is the one that is what we call catalog ready at this point, and we're at market with. We do have, I'm going to touch out through my presentation here, not just products that are here and that are available from a catalog standpoint today, but give you a little bit of an idea of where Van Air is going as well, okay? So again, we have the Cube version. In the coming months, we're going to be launching another design of this 48 volt, still 5 kilowatt, 100 amp hour battery. It's going to be a linear version. It's going to be an IP67 rating. And we're doing that because it gives us the ability to mount. We're actually doing it instead of a cube. This particular battery has 16 cells, so there's 2 rows of 8. The new one would be a single stack of 16, okay? It allows us to fit up underneath the frame mount along the frame rail of a vehicle, get it out of the load space, valuable space that everybody's looking to fill now with tools and everything else, right? So we've designed that enclosure to be IP67 so that you can do that. And it opens us up to a lot more applications and mounting applications. So that's coming very soon. We're excited about that. Existing battery today, this particular unit in our current BMS system has the ability to put 2 batteries in parallel, so we can build this out to be 10 kilowatt. But very soon, again in the coming months, when we move forward with a linear battery and it will be retrofitted back into this battery, we'll be able to put 6 batteries in parallel. So you'll have a 30 kilowatt system, okay? The other thing that's going to happen at that point in time is that our battery management system, unlike anyone else in the market, is going to move to all solid state. So the high amp contactors and things that are in there today for high current switching will all move to a solid state board design. So that's something we're working on. And we certainly also are looking to move to high voltage applications. So we've got some products out in the field today that are running on 300 volt. We're going to be moving on to 400, 500, 600, 800 and beyond, right? Again, we are still looking at auxiliary battery, but one of the things that we found out over the course of the last 3 years and being out at the trade shows and launching this product, that we've gotten the attention of a lot of the OE chassis manufacturers who are looking at their EV platform and what are they doing from EPTO technology, and what are the demands in the market, and Vanair is being recognized as a market leader from that perspective, and we certainly want to be there at that high voltage level to be able to support them as well. So again, kind of the heart of the EPEQ system is the element battery. I'm going to take a step up here. So what we have here in front of us is what we call the EPTO. And EPTO can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. I'm not even sure everybody in the EV space could agree today on what EPTO means, but I'm going to tell you what EPTO means from a Vanair perspective. So again, still focused on using our element battery. This particular setup has been designed to operate on 48 volts, the same as what we have over here today. And it's a two components. So you have the motor controller and then the motor itself. And this particular unit that you see here is actually set up with a hydraulic pump. This hydraulic pump, quite frankly, could be used for a wide variety of things. Maybe you have an application on a truck where you want to do a telescopic crane, a stick boom. Maybe it's a smaller articulating crane. Maybe you want to run a tool circuit. Maybe you've got a dump truck application, bucket truck, aerial lift, countless different things. And again, this particular unit happens to have a hydraulic pump married to it. However, if you are looking for high pressure or low pressure water, you can mount a water pump on here. If you're looking for dewatering, we can do some dewatering and things like that also. So this particular unit right here is really changing the way that a lot of our customers are looking at how they can get out and meet some of the initiatives that they've placed from a corporate perspective. Maybe that's carbon reduction. Maybe that is extending chassis life and other things of that nature. But this particular unit then would allow you to be able to run all of those things with the vehicle off and still be able to use an internal combustion engine, right? So you can pair this battery with an EPTO and you can marry that on an internal combustion engine. Or, quite frankly, again, in some of those work platforms that didn't have a PTO provision on a transmission previously, this gives them the ability to run some of those same components that you're going to see all around the show right now that weren't available to them because they didn't have a PTO offering. So EPEQ PTO, this is kind of the first launch, meaning this is the catalog. I'm certain that there are going to be lots of other applications as we move forward with technology and as technology changes where we're going to develop more sizes and more offering. From an electrification standpoint, I can tell you that I believe that this product group is going to be an ongoing engineering for years to come as we look at more markets and more applications. So I'm going to move over here to some compressors now, air compressors. So we have a couple of models here. I'm going to start with the unit on my right. This is the EPEQ Air 20. So what you see here is a 3-cylinder reciprocating or piston type compressor. And inside of the case or the base that you see there below is integrated into that the motor and motor controller. So one of the things that we recognize too, not just in this booth, as you see more with battery power than you've seen before, if you start to go out and you start to look at all the work trucks and the different applications that are out there, there's more and more things that are being done with lithium batteries these days, hand tools and a lot of things like that. One of the things that we found is this particular unit has seemed to fit the bill for us in many applications. Another one of those things that COVID did for us is we wanted everything brought to us, right? So we want everything delivered to us. We need everything done where we are. And I can tell you that the mobile services industry, no matter what service that is exploding, right? It's exploding right now. So this particular unit right here can be used for tire inflation. We have applications out there right now where we have people doing mobile painting. We have applications out there where people are doing mobile tire repair, and this could be running not only inflation for tires and for air impacts, but it's also running a tire changer and a tire balancer from that perspective. and some of those things. A popular question that comes up often is, on one battery like that, what can I expect, right? How much use can I get for this in a normal day? So this type of compressor, piston compressor, requires an air tank. So if we couple this compressor with a 20-gallon air reservoir, and the way that these work is they build up, let's say, to 150 psi, and then when that pressure gets depleted down to, say, 120, that it kicks on again, right? So that's how a piston compressor works. This particular battery can run this compressor and recharge that tank, that air vessel, from 120 to 150 over 770 times on one charge. So it's got a lot more power density than what a lot of people would give it credit for, and that's just one battery. And again, that system today can be put in parallel, and you can expand that to 2. Rotary screw technology, of course, that's where Vanair came from. This particular unit is the entry level, the smallest of the rotary screw compressors that we have in our EPEQ line. This is our EPEQ Air 45. All of the features and benefits that come from running a rotary screw compressor, instant air on demand, I don't have to have an air tank, all of those things are available in our Air 45. Some other things that are being worked on back in the plant in engineering and R&D is more air compressor applications. There's some hard look being done at 85 CFM. There's some development work that's been done toward a duplex 85 CFM. And we even went one step farther. The thing that Vanair, again, was first started on was underdeck PTO-driven compressors up to 185 CFM. And we've actually developed a battery-powered 185 CFM compressor. And with that, some of the other technology changes that needed to come along with that, this is a development that actually pairs with our PTO-driven compressors, but the design and this new technology that we're showing here on this tank was important when you get into electrification. The way a rotary screw works is when you turn it off, it has to depressurize, and then it has to blow all that pressure down before it can restart. This new patented technology, or patent-pending technology in our Zero technology, is a rapid blowdown system that allows that from when the unit stops, because in electrification you don't want to burn any more horsepower than you have to, right? So it's auto start-stop. So it's going to allow you to very quickly depressurize that tank and then to be able to re-engage without having that time while you're waiting all the time. So Zero tank, lots of other features there that we can get into as well. Another really neat thing, I should have touched on too. On the battery, how do we charge it, right? There's multiple different ways to be able to charge that battery back. So of course, shore power is one of the methods by which you can charge that back. And then you can go to what's called a DC to DC converter. Let's say you're placing this on an internal combustion engine vehicle. So you can get a converter that's going to take that 12 volt from the vehicle, convert it to 48 volt, and anytime the vehicle's running, then you're recharging this battery. Okay? You can do that with the existing stock alternator. You can add a secondary 12 volt stock alternator, whatever. That's another method. Another method is Vanair designed and developed a 48 volt alternator. So if you want to put on a secondary alternator bracket, you can then also charge back with a 48 volt alternator. Those were the converters. Another thing that we do with converters, so let's say all the ancillary loads that are on a truck, when the truck is there and it's turned off, you've got work lights, you got safety lights, you got beacons, strobes, inverters, everything's running, right? I want to be able to do that with the truck off, and I don't want to be depleting my chassis battery, right? So how do I do that? So we also have a converter that takes 48 volt from this battery and puts it back to 12 to be able to support all those ancillary loads that are out there, okay? So we have that also. Lots of different converter options. There are different sizes depending on the application and the market. And then in my description there, I also touched on some of the other ancillary loads that are out there are inverters, right? AC power, 120 and 240 volt. Vanair has a full line of inverters that we've launched that are 48 volt inverters that tie in with this compressor. We have some dual voltage, 120, 240 volt, both in 3 kilowatt and in 6 kilowatt. And we have some single voltage, high frequency, lighter inverters. We've got a 3,000 watt 120, and we've got a 5,000 watt 240. And the neat thing about that 5,000 watt 240 volt inverter is that it's stackable. So I could put 2 together and make 10, I could put 3 together and make 15,000 watt. So that's a pretty neat feature. In using 2 element batteries and taking those 240 volt inverters that I just spoke about, it gives us the ability to do something else. And it's to power this little unit right here. So this is a mobile EV charger. We talked about range anxiety. I touched on that just a little bit earlier. Our market is mobile power, and it's been serving the service market and the service truck and the work truck market for 51 years. This allows someone, kind of let's call it the roadside assistance model, the AAA model. In the past, if you didn't make it to the next service station, the guy could pull up, give you a gallon of gas. He's going to get you down the road and get you on your way home, right? That's your safety net. Well, with EV, you need that same solution. And so we can take 2 of our element batteries through our inverter, and then with our circuit board inside of this EV charger, we can have your mobile service truck pull up and put enough range into your EV vehicle to get you 8, 10, 12 miles down the road so that you can make it to your next charging station. So EV charging capability. Another fantastic thing, again, based on all the different technologies that we had, again, going back to the lithium that we started out on the Startall side of things, the multifunction line of products with the AeronArc product that has welding inside, we have a battery-powered welder. It's bolted down. I was going to lift it up for you. So this particular welder weighs 34 pounds. That's actually less than what a 50-foot set of weld cables would weigh, right? So you can take this particular welder, get into, maybe it's elevated spaces where you needed to get to, or maybe it's back between a row of trucks and I need to get back and I need to weld in a mud flat bracket or a lift gate or something like that. Multiple applications, but it's a fantastic addition to our product portfolio. This particular unit we're very excited about. It recharges with 120. So another thing that we did within that same space is we targeted, again, right now, there's the market and the customers are asking for methods to be able to extend chassis life. Okay, we're doing that and addressing that by giving them the ability to turn the chassis off and be able to run on battery power, right? They're asking for equipment that would work in a work platform or in a vehicle that maybe they didn't have some of the functionality and capability that they would have had before because this platform didn't offer a PTO or otherwise, or it was a van and I didn't want to put a combustion engine product in the back of a van, so we've answered that solution. And then there's another way that we decided that we were going to come to the market and be able to help address those concerns, but also to be able to address some of the things in the market that are being pushed not only by regulation, but by environmental responsibility, and that's carbon reduction. So Vanair has developed and is offering a new product called EPEQ IM. That's idle mitigation, IM. And what idle mitigation in its simplest form is that when the vehicle has been brought to a job site and the vehicle is in park for a preset period of time, we have a controller that can be integrated into the vehicle that is going to, when all these parameters are met, it's going to force the vehicle off, okay? And why are we doing that? Because I think that if I go back and look at it, there's something like $700 billion a year that are burnt in fuel based on idle times and things that are going on in the industry. And the other thing is that they're equating 1 hour of idle time. Another industry term being used right now is ghost miles, right? So I needed to extend my chassis life. So if I'm idling all the time, obviously I'm not going to be able to do that. So 1 hour of idle time is the equivalent of what they call 30 ghost miles, right? So every hour that we can shut that truck off when it didn't need to be running is going to allow them to extend the life of that chassis, okay? So then some people say, okay, well that's great. You're going to turn the vehicle off and you're going to run. It's hard enough to find technicians these days, right? But what about when I'm in Minot, North Dakota, and it's minus 40? Or what about when I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm doing work out in a parking lot and it's 140 degrees on the asphalt out here, right? The guy has to be able to get in and warm up and get in and cool down, right? So the other thing that we're offering with our idle mitigation system is the ability to run HVAC independent of the truck. So we add our own air conditioning component and our own heat component that allows you to have heat and AC in the cab with the vehicle off. And you can do all of that through the native OE controls, through the native vents. So that's something we're really excited about. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I think I'm going to move up to another product that we have here. This product comes from a labor of love for me. I first came to Vanair almost 14 years ago, I guess now, and I came from a company out of small town Kansas by the name of AeronArc, which is a product group for Vanair. And It's like I said, it's near and dear to my heart. I've been working with this product for my entire history in truck equipment, which has been about 20 years now. So the Aeronarc product group is a product group that's represented a multifunction line of products for Van Air. So welder, generator, air compressor, jump starting, and battery charging all in one platform. And today, one of the things that we're pleased to present to you is a new alliance and a new partnership in which we have integrated into our package welding performance by Lincoln Electric. Lincoln Electric is the largest welding company in the world, and we are very pleased and excited to collaborate with them and bring that kind of quality component and technology into our Aeronarc product, into our all-in-one power systems. This particular unit has 330 amps of welding, multi-process welding. It'll allow the operator to do things like stick welding, to be able to run CV, to run a wire feeder or a suitcase feeder, to be able to do TIG, air gouge mode, and a lot of other fine-tuning and features that Lincoln customers have come to know and love. The other thing, and you can see on the table beside it, some accessory items from Lincoln Electric here, and we put them there because we think it's important to point out that with our new relationship that we have with them, all these ancillary products, these accessory items, are going to integrate seamlessly now with Van Air's Aeronarc products. So we're quite excited about that. This particular unit also is coming for the first time with a new electronically controlled Kubota diesel engine, and we're excited about that and expect to be bringing that full to the market later this year. The other thing about this product is we have stacked, again, some of the same capability that you've seen through all these other products over here, and we're going to add more features and benefits. So like I said, it already is a welder, a generator, an air compressor, a battery charger, and a 12 and 24 volt jump starter, but we're going to allow you to add more functionality. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the current that can be produced by the DC generator in here, and we're going to be able to use the smart controller on this element battery that we spoke about here a little bit ago, and we're going to be able to recharge that battery. So all of the features and benefits that you would have had from the element battery being tied to something before, so now you want to add hydraulics to this particular setup, you can do that. So you want to be able to run, again, a bucket truck, a telescopic crane, those types of things, you can do that. You want to add idle mitigation, you want to add HVAC. All of those things are available to be done with this product. So kind of a hybrid, total hybrid solution. So I am really excited to be able to talk about all that. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce a couple people. We're going to open it up to questions here just a little bit. I want to have Chip Jones, if you'd come over here for a minute. Chip Jones is the strategic manager for Van Air for the EPEQ product. Strategic manager for Van Air means that they are responsible for the sales nationally, and they also are acting in support of the product manager for this entire product. So Chip Jones, again, strategic manager for our EPEQ product. Randy Pegg, can I have you here, please? Also want to introduce you to Randy Pegg. Randy Pegg happens to be our strategic manager for all of our multifunction and Reliant product. But for this particular case, he's our strategic manager again, which is the national account sales and the supporting in the product role to bring voice of the customer back to our engineering and R&D team. So we're going to open the floor up to questions. We got a lot of the Van Air blue shirts here, people who are here that can support you. I'm certain that we've got some press kits that we can get to everybody. For those of you that are standing around that are not press, that want to know more information, you can see us at www.vanair.com. We also are out there on LinkedIn, Facebook, got a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of great stuff out there. I'd ask you to take a look and check us out. But we're going to open it up to questions.
What's next in terms of power? You keep talking about on the battery, for instance, and looking forward to being able to get 6 units together. Do you have any anticipation as to where you want to be, say, in 2 years from now, and able to supply more mobile power?
That's a good question. I hope everybody could hear that. So we spoke about being able to, very soon, in the coming months, we're going to go from 10 kilowatts, so 2 of these in parallel, up to 6, so that would be 30 kilowatt. And as we move forward with high voltage, so we've got some high voltage battery things that we're doing, so we're going to move in that 30 to 60 kilowatt range. So those are some things that we're going to be doing. And when you really start talking about near term, 2 years is really near term. I mean, it was a blink of an eye. We were just here, right, 3 years ago. Those are some things that are carrying on. Other things that are going to happen, this EV charger back here we talked about, that's what's called level 2 EV charging. It is certainly in our product roadmap to move to a DC to DC fast charge module, and that would happen once we bring in those higher voltage batteries so that we can provide more kilowatt output to be able to provide some more range to those vehicles instead of maybe just like the 1 gallon gas can to get them down the road. And then the other thing that I would say is there's already people that are already starting to say, what's after lithium, right? So these are lithium iron phosphate. What's after that? And at Van Air right now, between our engineering and R&D group, we have about 35 on staff. And again, we are eyes wide open. Our CEO, Ralph Kokot, is quite a visionary, and he too is out there forward thinking, forward looking. And I can tell you that there are a few of us just in the next 60 days that are going to be at some world shows evaluating new technologies to see what else is out there.
And maybe just to add to that a little bit. So I think the Van Air vision is that every product that we offer today, we intend to eventually offer as a battery-powered product. So if you see some of the prototype stuff we've done at other trade shows, we intend to have an underdeck system up to 185 CFM that is battery-powered. So the goal of Van Air is to be able to offer all of our products in a battery power as well.
And again, so myself, Chip, Randy, and again, all the blue shirts out here, the rest of the Van Air team, we're available for more question and comment. Just like to, again, thank everybody for coming. I know some of you had to race over here and get winded. I know you got a lot of press conferences and things going on. Hopefully I left you some time to get to your next one. But again, we're grateful and thankful for you guys coming out here and listening to us. Again, she's got the press kits. And if any needs, Chip's card, my card, Randy's card, anybody has any follow-up questions that you don't think about today when you're getting to the time of writing the article, please reach out. We'd love to support you. Thank you very much.